Hello everybody and welcome back to the second shelf. I have another tag video, the Try a Chapter tag. I was tagged by Camille over at What Camille Reads. I will leave a link to his tag video down below, and if you're not a subscriber yet to Camille's channel, you should definitely check him out and subscribe. The tag was originally created by Malia from Book Paradise. I will leave a link to her channel down below as well. The Try a Chapter tag is quite easy. It takes a bit of time, but it's an easy tag. You have to pick 5 books from your TBR, read the first chapter of each book, and then decide which of the 5 books you will continue and finish. So here are the 5 books from my TBR I picked. Like this. I read each of the first chapters of the books and I'll go through them one by one, and in the end I will tell you which book I decided to continue to read. So the first of the 5 books is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Madeline Miller is a young American author, actually a scholar, and this is her first book. It's a retelling of Homer's Iliad. The first chapter introduces the main character. The book is written in first person from the view of Patroclus, who is Achilles' partner later on in life. And although I liked it, I enjoyed the writing and the mythical feel of it, I don't know whether I want to delve deeper into the Iliad. So I'm not sure this is the book that I will pick in the end. The next book I picked is A.S. Byatt, Ragnarok. I hope I pronounced this correctly. I have no idea really how to pronounce it, but I think Ragnarok. A.S. Byatt is a British author. She has won the Man Booker in 1990 with her book The Possession, and my favorite book of hers so far is the children's book. You should, if you haven't read A.S. Byatt, I think the children's book is a perfect book to start. Ragnarok has been on my TBR for years. I remember that I bought it before I even moved to the house I'm currently living in, so it must have been on the TBR for at least 3 or 4 years. The only thing I know about Ragnarok is that it's about a little girl in wartime, World War II, who is evacuated to the countryside and there discovers a book, Asgard and the Gods, about ancient Norwegian mythology. I've read the first 2 chapters actually of the book, because the first chapter is only 2 pages and I thought that was not enough to give me a taste. So I read the next chapter. It's 10 pages in total. You get to know the little girl, who's only referred to as the child, her sadness, her loneliness, and in the second chapter she discovers the book and starts reading. And as a reader, you are immediately sucked into the world of the girl, even though it's only 10 pages. The language is very quiet, very subdued. You feel the loneliness of the girl and the way she discovers the book, that it's a sort of an escape for her. And I'm really interested to know what will happen when the child reads on. So these were 2 really, really enjoyable chapters to read. The third of the 5 books is Lynne Sharon Schwartz, The Fatigue Artist. I bought this book, I think, probably a year ago, after having read her memoir, Ruined by Reading, A Life in Books. I thought Ruined by Reading was a fantastic book. It's a contemplation about the books Lynne Sharon Schwartz read and why she read it and what they meant to her. And it's very engaging and very well written. And I hadn't read anything by Schwartz before that, so I wanted to read more of hers, and that's why I picked up The Fatigue Artist. I read the first chapter. The book is about Laura, a writer in New York who struggles with life, obviously, and in the first chapter she meets with her Tai Chi instructor, and you feel that she is quite out of it in a sense, and struggling and looking for meaning. And I remembered when I read it why I haven't picked up the book, because I didn't like the font, and I didn't like the feel of the pages, which you might think is ridiculous, but that's part of the reading experience. So I had the same feeling this time. Although I enjoyed the writing, I think if I pick this book out of the 5, I will have to buy the ebook, because I just can't deal with the fact how it feels and how it looks like. And on to the 4th book, and that's Lionel Shriver, A Perfectly Good Family. I am a huge Lionel Shriver fan, not only because we need to talk about Kevin, but I also really loved Big Brother, her latest book, The Mandibles. I've started to read all of her books slowly, one by one, and A Perfectly Good Family is one of the books that I haven't read yet. The first chapter is introducing the main character. This book is also written in first person, and that's Corliss, a young woman who is traveling to North Carolina to the family estate. Her parents have just died, and she and her 2 siblings, a younger and an older brother, have been willed the estate. In the first chapter, we encounter Corliss when she travels, when she arrives at the family home, when she meets with her siblings and a sister-in-law. And in typical Shriver style, it's hilarious and funny, and you can feel that disaster is looming. So this was definitely an enjoyable read, and a very good contestant for the final book I will pick. And the final book of the 5 is Banana Yoshimoto's Kitchen. Banana Yoshimoto is a Japanese writer, and Kitchen was the first of her novels translated into English. The translator is Macken Backus. The book was published first in 1988, so it's quite an old book, quote unquote. And I haven't read it yet. Shame on me. The book doesn't have chapters, so I decided just to read the first 10 pages before there is a clear break in the story. And in the first pages we meet the main character, a young orphaned woman, and her grandmother just passed away, and she meets the Tanabe family, and the family will take her in. But actually the first 10 pages, although we hear about some of the backstory, it's all about kitchens and why the main character loves kitchens so much, and the feel of kitchens and the flowers and the smells. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, yeah, something different, and it would be a good pick, because I definitely finally have to read something by Banana Yoshimoto. So we'll see. So I took a little 10-minute break just now, went through the 5 books again. It was a difficult choice, because actually I liked all of them, but I had to pick one. So you might not be too surprised that I picked A.S. Byatt, Ragnarok. I think that's a book that I'm in the mood for at the moment. So this was it for the Triad chapter tag. I absolutely enjoyed doing it. It's a lovely tag to do. You get to browse through your TBR, read chapters, decide for a book, and I'll tag Steve from Steve Donahue. First of all, because he's a great booktuber, but second of all, because Steve always complains that nobody tags him. So I made it my mission in life to tag him in every single tag video I'll do. So Steve, you're tagged. And the second booktuber I want to tag is Jenny over at Adultish Books, because she's also a really fantastic booktuber. I'll leave links to both Steve and Jenny's channel down below. If you are not a subscriber to either of them, you should definitely subscribe to both of them. This was it, my tag video, Try a Chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments to the books if you read any of them, or any other comments. You know that I love talking to you in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.